Records. Records constitute an important element in office system and procedure. Their maintenance and preservation is one of the important functions. The following tips will be useful for maintenance of the records. Know what records are to be preserved and for how long. Keep only required and prescribed records. Weed out needless time barred ones, making the space available for storing other records to be preserved. Ensure neatness and easy accessibility of the records preserved for retrieval and reference. Be aware of the rules relating to maintenance of secrecy of official documents and information. Take steps for the safety of the records. In this book, the information available in the various rules in the departmental manuals regarding protection of records and their period of preservation are furnished. According to the RTA Act, record includes any document, manuscript and file, any microfilm, microfiche and facsimile copy of a document, any reproduction of image of images and embedded in such microfilm, whether enlarged or not, and any other material produced by computer or any other device. Information means any material in any form, including records, documents, memos, emails, opinions, advices, press release, circulars, orders, logbooks, contracts, reports, papers, samples, models, data material held in any electronic form, and information relating to any private body which can be accessed by public authority under any other law for the time being in force. Recording. Recording is the process of closing a file after action on all the issues under consideration thereon has been completed. Following action should be taken in respect of files which are to be recorded and disposed of in the offices where O&M procedure is followed. When the dealing assistant is satisfied that no further action is required to be taken on a file, the file should be recorded indicating the year of destruction. Every file which to be recorded will be stamped on the outer cover with the words to be destroyed or permanent record. A note to the effect that the file has been recorded will be made in the file register under the column date of recording. Files which are of purely ephemeral nature will not be recorded but will be destroyed as soon as they are 1 year old. The purpose of recording, every section will maintain the periodicity of preservation of records concerning to the section, and the recording will be done once in every month. Maintenance and destruction of spare copies. Each section will keep in separate bundles spare copies of important communications issued by it. These bundles should be examined every year, and all spare copies which are not likely to be required any longer should be destroyed by the section supervisor. Old records. The recorded files may be sent to records after getting them stitched. On the flyleaf of the sectional register of old files, an extract from the latest orders showing the periods of preservation of different kinds of records should be pasted. This extract should be corrected up to date as and when changes in the periods of preservation of records are made by the prescribed authorities. Period of preservation and date of destruction should be noted on the file cover also. Following procedures should be adopted for maintaining files in record room. The files transferred to the record room will be accompanied by a challan in duplicate in the prescribed proforma. After due verification, one copy of the challan will be retained in the record room and other copy will be returned to the section concerned. Duplicate copies of the challans retained in the record room will be filed chronologically section wise. The files in the record room will be arranged section wise and chronologically. Where the file marks do not indicate the year of opening, the files will be arranged serially, as for example AR 630, AR 702, AR 781, etc. For the purpose of feeding, all the files received in the record room will also be entered in the record review register year wise and section wise on the basis of year of destruction of the files. Every year, files due for destruction will be picked up with the help of this register and referred to the concerned section supervisor for a certificate as to whether the file may be destroyed or should be preserved for a further period, which he should indicate. The record review register should be maintained in the prescribed proforma. In order to keep a proper note about the movement of the recorded files, they will be obtained when required by sending a requisition slip in the prescribed proforma. The requisition slip, the length of which will normally be the same as that of an office file, will be placed in the record bundle in place of the file taken off. When a recorded file is put up with papers other than those for which it was originally obtained from the records, a fresh slip marked change slip should be prepared by the concerned section and sent to the record room for placing it in lieu of the original slip. Following records should not be destroyed on any account. Records connected with expenditure which is within the period of limitation fixed by law. Records connected with the expenditure on projects, schemes or works not completed although beyond the period of limitation. Records connected with claims to service and personal matters of affected persons in the service. Orders and sanctions of a permanent character until revised. Where a minimum period after which any record may be destroyed has been prescribed, head of departments and circles or division heads or first class postmasters, including presidency postmasters, may order in writing the destruction of such records in their own and subordinate officers on the expiry of their period counting from the last day of the latest official year covered by the record. Of departments are competent to sanction the destruction of such other records in their own and subordinate officers as may be considered useless, but a list of such records as properly appertain to the accounts audited by the Indian Audit Department should be forwarded to the Director of Audit (P&T) for his concurrence before destruction ordered by the head of the department. The account records against which audit objections are pending should not be destroyed until final settlement of audit objections. Before ordering destruction of records, it should be ensured that no audit objection is pending in respect of the period for which records are destroyed. All relevant records in connection with the complaints involving pecuniary claims, including those kept in the audit offices, should be preserved by the officers dealing with such complaints, or they should ensure that the records are preserved. A register or destruction of records in Form ACG 91 should be maintained in each office and preserved permanently. Full details of all records destroyed from time to time should be maintained in the register. Proforma of ACG 91 is furnished in appendix and the end of this book. The old records, except confidential records and book of postmarks, should be torn up and sold as waste paper to contractors by calling for tenders for fixed periods. If no purchaser can be found to buy the waste paper, it should be destroyed by fire. Following records should not be destroyed without special permission of head of circle. Post office order booked, except in branch offices. Register of undeliverable passbooks in head deposit in the head office. Post office certificate ledger, user under the old procedure, correspondence and documents regarding which inquiry is in progress or connected with cases which have not been fully decided or closed, character sheets of officials in service and those who have absconded, order book of a record office, nominal roll of token holders, works papers, correspondence or documents regarding which inquiry is in progress or connected with cases which have not been fully decided or closed. Here is the description of records and period of preservation. First, postal side. In mails and sorting, mail list received and dispatched is preserved for 2 years. All records of mail department except those mentioned in first one and elsewhere in this part is 1 year. Next is franking machine records. Register to be maintained by the counter PA operating multi-value franking machine is 3 years from the date of last entry. List of licenses of franking machines authorized to post their articles to be maintained in the post offices is 2 years after expiry of validity date of license. Franking machine record book to be maintained by the main PO and the licensee. Also 2 years after expiry of validity date of license. Franking machine ledger to be maintained in the main post office. 2 years from the expiry date of validity of date of license. License for franking machine 2 years after expiry of validity date of license. Franking machine window ticket 2 years after expiry of validity date of license. Register showing payment of advance rentals and postage in respect of hired franking machines 2 years after expiry of validity date of license. Franking machine register regarding postings to be maintained by the licensee is 3 years from the date of last entry in the register. Dispatch list to accompany each consignment for franked postal articles tendered for dispatch is 2 years. Franking machine daily docket is 2 years. Register showing particulars of repairs made in the franking machines to be maintained by the PMRO 2 years. Application for renewal of license for hired franking machines 2 years after expiry of validity date of license. List of licenses of hired franking machines authorized to post their articles to be maintained in the post offices 2 years after experience of validity date of